There's a number that breaks people, not because it's impossible, because of how it feels to reach it. $100,000. Ask anyone who's built wealth from nothing and they'll tell you the same thing. Not that the first 100 grand was hard because of math. It was hard because it felt like nothing was happening. Then somehow everything after that felt different, faster, lighter, almost automatic. That's not luck. That's not magic. That's math. And today we're going to break down exactly why. Most people think building wealth is linear, save a little more each year, and your net worth just climbs in a straight line, like a staircase. Put in effort, get out results, in equal measure. That's the story we're told. Work hard, save consistently, and the graph goes up in a nice predictable slope. Here's what actually happens. For most of your journey, especially the beginning, it doesn't feel like a staircase. It feels like pushing a boulder up a hill with your bare hands. You save, you invest, you check your account, and the number barely moves. Month after month, it's the same story. Small deposit, tiny bump, nothing to show for it. Then, somewhere past 6 figures, something shifts. The same effort starts producing bigger results. The same monthly contribution suddenly matters less than what your money is already doing on its own. This isn't a coincidence. It's compounding, and compounding doesn't reward speed, it rewards patience. Let's get into the formula because this is where it stops being a feeling and starts being math. Compound growth follows a simple principle. Your money earns returns, and then those returns earn returns. The formula looks like this. Future value equals your principal multiplied by 1 plus your rate of return, raised to the power of the number of years. It's simple, but the outcome is not intuitive at all, especially early on. Here's why the first $100,000 is brutal. At low account balances, your own contributions are doing almost all the work. Compounding hasn't kicked in yet because there's nothing significant to compound, but once you cross that 6-figure line, the math flips. Your money starts contributing more than you do. Let's put numbers to this because numbers make it real. Say you're investing $1,000 a month at a 7% average annual return. To reach your first $100,000, it takes you roughly 6 years. 6 years of consistent saving, watching a number that barely seems to move some months. Now here's the part nobody explains. To go from $100,000 to $200,000 at the same contribution rate and same return, it takes you around 4 years. Not 6, 4. To go from $200,000 to $300,000, under 3 years. Same effort, same $1,000 a month, completely different speed. Let's break this down further because the scenarios matter. At a 5% return, reaching $100,000 with $1,000 monthly contributions takes close to 7 years. At 7%, it's about 6 years. At 10%, closer to 5.5 years. The difference between those return rates might look small on paper, but stretched over decades, it separates people who retire comfortably from people who retire wealthy. Now compare the next $100,000 at each of those same rates. At 5%, doubling to $200,000 takes about 5 years. At 7%, it drops to 4 years. At 10%, it's closer to 3.5 years. The gap between first and second $100,000 gets wider as your return rate climbs. That's compounding accelerating, not just continuing. Here's a table of what this looks like in raw growth per year once you cross that threshold. At $50,000 invested, a 7% return earns you $3,500 that year. At $100,000, that same 7% earns you $7,000. At $250,000, it's $17,500. At $500,000, it's $35,000. Your money, doing nothing but existing in the market, is now out earning what most people make working a part-time job. That's the shift. That's why the first $100,000 breaks people, and why everything after it starts to feel different. Now let's talk strategy because there's more than one path here, and each comes with a trade-off most people don't think about. Strategy 1, aggressive contribution. You maximize how much you save and invest every single month. sometimes uncomfortably so, to reach that first $100,000 as fast as possible. The upside is obvious. You get to the acceleration point faster. The hidden cost is lifestyle sacrifice. You're cutting deep in your 20s or 30s to buy speed later. Strategy 2. Consistent, moderate contribution over a longer runway. You save a comfortable, sustainable amount, and you let time do more of the work than intensity. The upside is you don't burn out, and your habits are more likely to stick for decades. The trade-off is that your first $100,000 might take 8, 9, even 10 years instead of 5 or 6. Strategy 3. Income growth focus. Instead of squeezing your current paycheck harder, you focus your energy on increasing what you earn, then funnel the raise directly into investing before your lifestyle catches up to it. The upside is this can dramatically shorten the timeline without requiring painful cuts. The hidden risk is discipline. Most people, when their income rises, let their spending rise right alongside it. If that happens, this strategy quietly fails. None of these strategies is universally right. What matters is which one matches your actual life, your actual income, and your actual tolerance for sacrifice. Now here's the reframe, the part that changes how you see this entire mountain. Most people treat the first $100,000 as proof of how far they have to go. It's not. It's proof of how much resistance you've already pushed through without any help from your money. Every month before you hit that mark, you were the entire engine. Every dollar of growth came from your effort, your discipline, your sacrifice. Compounding wasn't in the room yet. You were doing this alone. After that mark, you're not alone anymore. Your money becomes a silent worker that never clocks out. It doesn't take weekends off. It doesn't get tired. It doesn't need motivation. While you sleep, it's earning. While you second-guess your budget, it's already working. So the mountain isn't a punishment. It's an audition. It's the market testing whether you'll stick around long enough to earn a partner that never quits. Let's look at someone who actually lived this. Warren Buffett is worth over $100 billion today, and yet more than 99% of that wealth was built after he turned 50. Not because he suddenly got smarter in his 50s, because he'd spent decades before that pushing the boulder. Compounding didn't reward his intelligence, it rewarded his patience and the sheer number of years he refused to quit. That's the pattern. The wealthy aren't wealthy because they found some secret formula the rest of us don't know. They're wealthy because they stayed in the game long enough for math to start working in their favor instead of just barely alongside them. Here's the transformation that happens once you understand this. Before, you check your account and think, I'm barely moving. This isn't working. Maybe I'm doing something wrong. After you check your account and think differently, you stop asking, is this working? And you start asking, how far can I take this? You stop measuring your progress month to month, and you start measuring it in the momentum you're building for the version of you 5 years ahead. The boulder you were pushing isn't a boulder anymore. It becomes a snowball, and at some point you're not pushing it up the hill anymore, it's pushing you. So here's what to actually do with this. Step 1. Know your number. Calculate roughly how long it will take you to reach $100,000 at your current contribution rate and realistic return expectations. Seeing the real timeline removes the fog of, this is taking forever. Step 2. Automate the climb. Set up automatic transfers into your investment accounts the day you get paid. Remove the willpower requirement completely. The boulder gets pushed whether you feel motivated that day or not. Step 3. Protect the mountain phase. This is where most people quit, right before the acceleration kicks in. Build in small rewards or milestones along the way so you don't burn out 3 years before the shift happens. Step 4. Once you cross $100,000, resist the urge to relax your contributions. This is the moment compounding starts pulling real weight. Keep contributing at the same pace, and let both forces, your effort and your money's effort, work together instead of one replacing the other. That first $100,000 isn't the finish line. It's not even close to one. It's the entry fee. It's the price you pay to get a partner that works 24 hours a day, asks for nothing, and never quits on you. Every dollar you're setting aside right now, even when it feels invisible, is quietly building the machine that will eventually outwork you. So if you're in the mountain phase right now, staring at a number that barely seems to move, stay. The math hasn't changed its mind about you. It's just waiting for you to cross the line where it finally starts to show. If this shifted how you see your own number, let me know in the comments. What's your $100,000 look like, and how far along are you? And if you want more real strategies, not just motivation, make sure you're subscribed for what comes next.